Greetings! In this lesson, we are working with the hero block. Let's move to our code. Currently, our layout has an image, but overall, we intend to have a video as the background image instead of the picture. I have already prepared this video. So we created a test hero block, and that's where we will be working. Don't forget that we are in the hero block branch, which we created in the previous lesson. In this new block, we will need to create attributes for some images. Fields to store their values. The development principle for Gutenberg is not difficult. For each of these data points, we create fields, and the values of these fields are stored in attributes. That is, you always need to register a list of attributes, and secondly, to add all this data in the admin panel, we need components, a series of components for entering this data, for input, for text area, and others, and components. The output of this information is done through regular HTML, so there's nothing to worry about here. If you don't have deep knowledge in React, there's nothing to worry about either. You can easily perform such simple tasks. We add attributes here. In the attributes, we will have for the title. So we specify title. So the type for the title will be a string. By default, we don't set anything. But for the title, I will set the following. I will set source. I set the HTML parameter because I don't want to create an additional comment for it, as it is already located within the body. And I will additionally comment on this and specify in the selector. Our selector will be by class on hero title. So we will need a field for the description. Let's use auto-completion for the description. So we set the type as string. It will be located in the HTML body and by the hero description selector. Gutenberg will find it further. We have a button. For the button, we will create a new component, wing. So the link will also be of type string. It will not be in HTML, but in an attribute from HTML for the link selector by the href attribute. Essentially, it's the same thing. We don't specify a selector, but we also store it in the content. When we don't specify these parameters, only the type, then for the block, remember, in the source code, there are such comments. That's where this value is inserted. And essentially, it turns out to be duplicated if we don't specify parameters like source. In our case, it will not be duplicated. And for the link, besides the link itself, encore is also needed. Therefore, we will create an encore link. And the link support will already be in the HTML body. Therefore, we leave it like this. We will also have a video file that will be loaded by ponies. We will make these little logos a bit. Later, we will add them. For now, we still need to add a field for the video file. Meaning a video link. Yes, for this field here, we will leave the type as string. And that's it, meaning an empty field. We are not adding any tags. Then we move on. By the way, we can already start the compiler. The tone is not running for me. We will build a block in the admin panel. Remove the unnecessary. We will have one component. Remove the comments as well, by the way. We have an old file. It has many generated comments. So in this block, there's no internationalization. We remove it. So for our edit, attributes will be needed there. So we extract them here in this way. Next, these attributes. We have title, we have description, we have link, we have video, and we have encore link. As far as I remember, these are exactly the attributes I just set. Next, for the components, we will need a panel, body, and text control. So, import. Panel, body. Text control for description. Let's take text area. We'll use text area control. And for now, we will also need speech text. In order to display titles and edit them immediately, we load speech text in this block editor, as well as inspector controls. Here we will load for various toolbars and for video uploading. We will use the media component. Also, media placeholder. So, media placeholder I saw we will use for uploading small logo images, or we will make a toggle switch so that we can show both the block and video with the background image. So either this way or that way, because we will also be adding a toggle. Well, okay, we will do that later. Now, in this container, we will have HTML, meaning what will be displayed. And here I can use components to build these fields in the admin panel, meaning we will call a series of components. The first component is not needed. Inspector controls to create this sidebar in the inspector control. We will have a panel body in this panel body. We will close it, of course. There will be the fields themselves. Further, as I already mentioned, React cannot return two components, so we will wrap them in such a wrapper. In the panel body, we have a text control for the title. So let's use autocomplete. For the title, with the key title on change, we change this value. For the description, we use the component X static control for the key. Description, description. That is, these are the keys that I set for the pilot. Understood them. And he generated all this body for me. Further for the button, I can say more thematically here, link URL. But better not link, both buttons. Buttons, again the key. And the value changes when switching in the field. This value and by anchor. Button value link anchor. Regarding the component media upload for the type, we will set it as an array, so that later another type can be loaded here. If needed. This simple call of a series of components generates for our block sidebar in the admin panel where we can add values for our fields. Here is this media upload component. We will not see if the video is uploaded. Essentially, we will only see the button, but the video itself we will not see. So, let's do it this way. We will add a check here. If our video variable has a value, then I will simply show a tag with the video here. Only as a tag, of course. With the sound turned off, and set the source to the video. That is, if I use this component and upload a video, then this component will work and it will show it above the form. I will understand what is in it. And secondly, I don't see the value parameter here, which is important because when we reload, so that this video fills in and here, therefore we set the value parameter. Additionally, let's take a look on the website. If our created fields are there, we need to register this block. So we go to the PHP file of our plugin, blocks.games.store. And yeah, in that register, this block. We set the key to our catalog. Then go to the admin panel on the site. We need to visit any page. I create a home page, which will be my main page. Switching back to visual mode here. So, it will be necessary to edit JSON in the next lesson since it loads from JSON. This dark background, which I don't like, is not our site background. At night you feel and call our new hero block. We add it here, and here are our fields that we just added. Okay, the fields are fine. According to the video, I don't like the button. It's not in the WordPress style. So I'll add a class to it so it looks better. I'll add a beta tag to the button. Cool. Component, loaf, and you can add an additional secondary one so it doesn't stand out. We can add our own parent to the main button. This is the video upload class. If we want to customize it somehow or attach to it, let's save the page. Refresh with cache clearing. Select the block, but I can't select it because there's no body, so I open the tree and select it here. And now the button looks like it's in the style of the site, so to speak. Let's upload a video. So I uploaded an MP4 format video. It weighs 26 megabytes. This particular video will be our background image. And here's what we see. That is, when the video is uploaded, the tag we added loads the video here. Otherwise, we would always see the button and we wouldn't understand whether something is uploaded or not. I think this component only displays the button, so the value I set doesn't have any logic. I probably got confused and took it from the media place folder. So let's remove it. I think this won't affect the operation of our block and component. And here I think I messed up. I must have missed a letter. With that clear, let's add a little HTML line so that we can select this block in the editor. So we have the main container and it uses a use block. Props will generate all the necessary WordPress classes. And everything inside we can basically add ourselves like a background. I want to add a video, so first I call the block specifically for video. In this video block, we will have textures. Just make sure not to lose the tags themselves. So in source tags, let's add and make it cool. We call the src link to this video, which we save, and specify its type as MP4. Now, the video tag itself, we will also need an additional class. So we add a cool class and video background. I will set such a class. I will set the attribute loop cycle, and I will set these values in this way. Autoplay. I will set it empty, like this. I will mute the sound and place in bot lane. I will also need the height and width to be 100%, so I will set them specifically as an attribute on the tag itself. So we have added all the videos. It will be positioned absolutely on the container. We on BIM will write the style, and later, besides this video, we will have it, this white mask. So let's create a container for it as well. We'll call it hero mask. Then on top of the mask, we will already have a container for metadata. Or let's see what it offers us. Wonderfully, it suggests I need inside hero content. I extract my data using the component, speech, text, the same display that allows it to be edited simultaneously, but I specify not just the tag name, but specifically by class. Here, just the tag name will not be enough, so we will also add a cool class. We must specify this one, which we indicated here. Otherwise, in this world, they won't understand where to take it from. This is the value. It will save it in the body, and it will orient itself by it. Also, when we change the value, that is, essentially, we will be able to change the value for our field, both in the field itself and even in the element. Now I will show you this. If you haven't worked with the component before, speech text. According to the description, we also use reach text, placing it in a paragraph tag. We will also need a class name. And by the link, everything is fine. The compiler gives us an error. As far as I can see, we simply don't have a closing div here. Like this. For this container with metadata, that's it. We added the necessary fields. Updating in the admin panel, but let's save it. Previously, we added a video here. Now let's refresh the page. Great. Our blog is now displayed here. And if we have something filled in, you see, the rich text component displays it, and it allows me to edit it from here. And I can see all the changes. And here, that is, I can edit it in two places. The same applies to two of this component. This is achieved because I used rich text and set it to onChange. I have the value of the same variable, so I can use this data in both places. I also set some values for the link and save this block. Then refresh by clearing the cache. The data that I added, we are losing. This happens because we store their data in sort of a... But the save is not ready yet, as it doesn't exist yet. And it currently doesn't have these values of this body of our theme. For this reason, we don't see it yet, but we do see the video. Because we registered the video without a source, we registered it as a comment. I can even show it in principle if we go to the edit for the block. Hero is being created. Comment like this is created. Here is the comment. And this value is added here. The HTML itself, you see, instead of our body, which we will now exit, we write a simple placeholder from safe.js. When we finish the edit scenes, we will simply transfer this body to safe.js, and then saving will also work perfectly for us. for our block. By the way, here we have color highlighting. Yes, we can style it using the strong tag. When we have some value, we can highlight it. An additional toolbar is activated for us. I select it with the strong tag, you see, and it kind of adds strong text to this field. But again, I won't check the saving now because these data are not being saved. But you can attach to this strong tag and assign it a color. So what I wanted to say about this block is we will now create a slider for these icons. That is, we will make a repeater. Right now, there are, I don't know, 7 of them, but there could be 10, 20. And in this repeater, there will be 2 fields because we have graphics here in 2 variations, in dark and in white. Therefore, the upload in the admin panel will also be done with 2 fields, allowing you to upload a black icon and simultaneously a white icon for it. But first, let's create a switch for the video, because right now we're only loading the video. You can add a toggle to switch between the video and a simple background image. So let's go over here. Let's use Copilot to open the chat. Here's the kind of request I attempted. Let's try to use what the G5 chat generated for us. First of all, we will need to import new state. Copy it. We need it. In any case, it happens to be imported because we are now going to make a slider, a media upload. We have a toggle control imported from the components or component, so we write it here as a component. All of this, or in the upper part we shared by attributes, we should have 2 more new attributes, one for the image, another Boolean for the new parameter from the video. That is, it will store this value, it will also save it. So let's set them, they switch to block J, and here we create the same for the video, and match as well. We leave the type as string and the same parameter from the video. It will be of Boolean type. I didn't check if it is indeed Boolean further, how it assigns a value to it. Let's now copy the components. So I turn back to edit. So the closing one is extra for us. So I will probably close it here, very convenient. And this way we will look at the toggle component. If the video is loaded, video, otherwise picture. Let's update. the video battle output then. Then I lost Wonderful. Now we'll just close the same thing. So here we will show the video. Only if we have it existing if we have an existing image, then we will show the image. And refresh it again. Let's remove this block entirely from here because it contains old values. Let's edit anew. Hero block, here it is empty. It currently has no video, nothing. We are waiting for some data. We'll set an image. Here we have a block with an image loading. We'll save it. The image is saved because it is stored in our attributes. Here it is. Wonderful. We probably lack the option to delete. Not sure if we need it here. But on the other hand, we'll select the block when we switch. We save. Let's see if our image is cleared. Yes. Here we have it clears it. Empty, meaning we essentially have it due to this line. When switching the toolbar, it clears, and if we select we save the video. It saves perfectly. This is how we improved the functionality of our block using artificial intelligence and a single request. We added a corner component that switches, and depending on the value, we show one button or another for uploading media files. And so, consequently, if we have a video uploaded, we show the video. If an image is uploaded, we show the background image. Later, we will certainly style it, and this block will look very nice. But that's not all for our block. We need to create a special repeater for it, which will allow us to upload these logos as a slider. And we will also load a script for the slider to this block or to the site as a whole. Let's create such an option. Let's make this repeater. We'll have a separate field. We will call it slides. In the attributes. And here we will store an array with our slides. So its type will be an array, and by default an empty array. That is, in the attributes we create for ourselves, like a variable where you have control, this value, Next, we return to edit J, and we will need to create this component, which we will call. That is essentially, we have our edit Js, where we generate the entire body that we have in the admin panel. But here, somewhere, yes, and we will create specifically for it a new panel. Let's do it right now. And add it like this to this new panel. We will now create another component for ourselves where we will repeat. In the loop, where exactly does this panel body end? We open a new panel body. Let's call it hero. Slide. And in it we will have a loop. We will go through the boot. Our. This variable. Slide. So, two brackets are closing here. And consequently, here we will call this new component that we will build. I'll call it slide item. And for now it has empty parameters, which I will set later. And therefore, I need to create it here at the top. It will have a brute index. It will have a slide. For images, we will create a callback on image change. And we will also create on remove for the possibility of deletion. And it will return for us the following structure. So we will have slide item. Inside it we will have an inner block. Let's call it slide image or slide item image. We will show the image itself, of course. If it exists, we show it. Well, let's set the alt tag. Slide image. And a component for uploading images. For uploading images, we use media placeholder. So here, from the block editor, we also load media placeholder. And so we start icon, format image. It is select. So it is merged. We will take media, callback and match, select, media, and yes, also media. Placeholder also allows us to select a URL, so it is select URL. The only thing is we also index. We set so we can set labels, title, slide image, and instruction, upload image for slide. All right. Next, what types we want, what types we allow. Accept image. Allowed types such as images like JPEG, PNG, or GIF. And we only allow the upload of one image. Therefore, we add the parameter multiple with the value false. We've done the whole body. Moving on. Now we need handlers. For this, we go down below. In our edit, we need to, using and get tired of processing these sliders. If they exist, we take them out, otherwise into that array. Let's describe all the handlers we need. So we will have a handler for when the slide changes. So we use autofill. Next we will add a slider. Or maybe a slide. For deletion, like this. Indeed, the act of filling in speeds things up a lot, and the handler when changing the image. Only I don't want to fill everything in. So, next we return to the component at the bottom where we added it. Let's add these attributes. Right here. We use autofill again. It understands everything perfectly here. So it seems we're all done. So, to the repeater, let's check. I have now created a repeater for one field. Select the block. Here's our hero slider. I still need something else. I didn't add a button to increase the repeater. So we return to this panel body. Outside of the loop, we will add a button. Also load the component. Let's use the button component. We use on click call the action from the slide. Also don't forget to add the class right away, because remember, they don't show up by default. Add the button component. So the React code autofill understands it just perfectly. But it doesn't want to help me with filling in the classes. Although, in my opinion, classes are much easier to understand and they need to be specified. Rather than the logic, which is practically non-existent here, everything is default. By default, in all blocks, this is usually used as well. Now we have loading and the media place component. And with the help of this button from the slide, I can add as many slides as I need. The only downside of this component is that it is very bulky and large. Yes, if I add 10 icons here, it will result in a very long list. But it can be folded and closed like this. And moreover, we currently only have the light version. We need to add one for the dark version as well. Let's improve our slider, our repeater. We have a placeholder that adds the upload of one image, we need two. And also, it is highlighted in gray. We do not use this action anywhere. We didn't add a button to delete a specific item from the slider. Let's place it somewhere, right here. So, button. Cool. Right here it's cool. He added for me. He heard me and added it, and he is rim of sun. With an index? Wonderful. Moving on. Let's think about how we will do it. We can add separate entries for light and dark. For example, we have 1 year light version or logo, and boom, not just load at night, and match light, for example, or give light. And our key to this, which is crucial, and we will pass it here. The same here. Light image. Labels will be changed to slide, light, image. Everything else remains as it is. Such containers. We will have two. Second year. We hang darker. Dark. Dark. Like this. Seemingly, yes, we update. We select our block. And now we see the option to load both light and dark versions. If we add another slide, another pair will be saved for us. Of course, it's worth adding some CSS to structure it a bit more attractively. But in this lesson, it's important for us to create the structure so that we can add these data here. I think we will stop here. That's enough for this lesson. We have made the entire block structure that we need in the admin section. We can add all the information. In the next lesson, we will work with the saved.js file. We will retrieve this information on the front end and add it in style to style our block.